Hello there, this is the Song System. Welcome to the channel, welcome back hopefully. And we're playing around a little bit more with some of our effects pedals here, specifically the Grand Canyon, and we're going to be trying a little bit of a Frippertronics kind of thing that we've been playing around with more generally recently too. We tried to do a couple of versions of this just to get a feel for it that turned out with relatively varying degrees of success. And the idea that we're going to be looking at is, rather than with guitar where it's easy to produce long sustained sounds which lend themselves very nicely to Frippertronic kind of clouds gradually fading into the background, what we're going to be doing is using delay. And specifically, we've got the Grand Canyon here, and even more specifically than that, we've got our drum delay. So the idea of this is that it's a multi-tap kind of thing. I'm sorry, not multi-tap. What's the word I'm looking for? Is it multi-tap? It is multi-tap, but it's in a specific pattern. So the Grand Canyon has got many different functions. This one, when it's what we're using, then the left one offers different patterns. There are, I think, about 10 patterns, 9 or 10 patterns there. And there's actually a bonus switch that you can use where you hold it down and you get something like 6 or 8 more. And then on the other side is a drum age knob. So that means that as the delays fade, they also lose clarity. We've got that switched off for now, but the basic idea is that we start with a simple delay pattern. Now, the one that I've got programmed in now is if you take one beat, one delay time section to be a bar, it would be on beats 1 and 4. So you'll hear that. And there we go. So the way that I'm going to use this is I'm going to start with that basic thing that we've got there, but with the loop that I'm going to make, I'm going to make sure there are 4 repeats all together. And what I'm going to do is cut the loop off at that point and try and make it as perfect as possible. So, oops, excuse me. Not easy to get my foot in there. Okay, so that's 4 bars, right? 2, 3, 2, 3, 4, 4, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And it seems I've got the timing relatively tight there with that repeat. Now, for Frippertronics, what we're going to be using is that we're not going to change the delay time. That's one of our basic things for this idea. And when we start up the loop, I've got this set so that it will decay. Now, with the Grand Canyon, I'm just going to turn that off a second. With the Grand Canyon, you can either have only the looper going with the bottom light, only the delay going with the top light, or you can have both going at the same time. And those change various different things. But when you're in only the delay mode here, these two things give us the dub level. In other words, how much each, when the loop repeats, how much it fades out each time. And then there's the fade out, which is when you turn off the loop, how it fades out. Now, fade out I don't want any of, so my setting here is essentially this. Oh, and my delay level is actually where it's at now, so like 11. I'm sorry, not delay level, dub level. Now, when we go back to our dual mode there, let's see if the delay time has changed because I moved the knob. No. Yes. If I'd moved that and it had changed the delay time, that makes things a little bit more complicated because it means trying to rematch that again. So ideally, that wouldn't get changed. So, let's start that loop up again. Okay, I'm going to put in a new note and we'll see how long it takes to decay. How many bars? Coming up to the beginning again. Here's the first time. Okay, it's nearly gone. So that's 6 times. Nice. So we got that going now. Let's keep our eye on that. The idea is, though, is that the feedback, in other words, how long each of these delays is one way, how long each of these delays repeat is one way to control the density of this whole thing. Another way is the thing that we were just playing with here, which is the, what do they call it, dub level. Okay, so you can hear we're keeping that one note going there. What we can do now is use this as a kind of Frippertronics-esque thing, but instead of it being clouds, we've got a much more rhythmic, almost like maybe like Steve Reich-esque kind of thing, or very minimalistic kind of thing. Okay. So let's have a little bit of a play around with that. So we can start introducing rhythmic variation. Harmonic variation. Okay, so I've paused the loop overdubbing there, which means it's going to keep doing that for a while. Now, that in itself is nice, but what you can do is actually start working within this to build up different kinds of vocabulary that you can include. So that can mean, say, harmonic vocabulary, like different harmonies that you want to shift it into and through and between. That I've largely been improvising, but you can also have different rhythmic patterns and rhythmic games that you play. So far, I've very much been keeping things within this 4 bars of 4 beats each kind of cycle. But you can start playing with things to build up different textures and have a bit of fun with different ways of creating these almost like mosaic patterns. So let's see what we can come up with in that regard. So that's a very rough introduction to what we've got going on here. We've got a few variables. We can increase the feedback, which will increase the density of things. We can change the drum pattern that's being used. Let me see, we can add in the drum age thing to change that. You hear how we were changing the harmony, you heard how you can play with the rhythms there. That's all kind of more internal, less to do with the actual setup. But the other option is, of course, to pause it like we've done now and use it for a little bit of improvising. So let's see. That works, but something that we would be happy to add in here, let's do a bit of reverb in there. A little bit of spring reverb there. It would be lovely to get the night sky involved here, one of those presets we've been working on. I'm not sure where I've got it in my chain at the moment though, so we'll leave it at that for now. But, very quickly, let's demo the fade out function here. A nice way to end this kind of thing, perhaps. Although, of course, you can obviously just let everything fade out as well. So that's a really rough kind of basis for a kind of Frippertronics-esque kind of thing, using just the Grand Canyon. I mean, we did add that little bit of reverb there at the end, but yeah, it's something that can be done with just one pedal. It would be interesting to be able to add lower notes, so maybe the contrabass clarinet is more suitable for this perhaps, or, you know, using the enzo to bring in some bass notes or something like that. But I think as a basic introduction to the kind of thing that I'm trying to do there, hopefully that will suffice. Well, thank you for sticking around. I do hope that this was interesting, perhaps even useful. And hopefully see you again. Take care.